to find it. So Minu
25.
Yay! What the Lord has put together.
Let no one
Put asunder.
So we had
MorningStarr has put together.
That's all. So Chivido was 2024.
This morning I'm seeing people this morning, and I am so happy. I'm taking inspiration.
Yeah, that's why you are saying Minu 2025.
No, it's
we
not
get
related.
Minu.
It's not related. People welcome.
Master, we are done with that one. Let us go to
No, it is time for me to deal with it.
No. You had your chance yesterday. You couldn't do it. You can't come and do it on the radio.
Was not here.
Please.
Ima was not here.
Please.
I'm just welcoming.
Minu, let's continue. Minu. So Mutala Inusa, aka Minu.
You hear from my lawyers.
Okay, no problem.
You guys will hear from my lawyers.
But tell the lawyers too that this is good news. So if you are coming to destroy good news, that's up to you. No problem. What happened yesterday with the Reverend Kusi Boateng case yesterday?
Quite interesting court section yesterday. The three-member panel of the Court of Appeal yesterday dealt with this issue. We told you earlier that two things were going to happen yesterday when the court will be deciding on an objection raised by the panel and the Chief Justice's decision to put together that panel. And also, if whatever outcome the panel decide or on the objection raised will inform whether they will proceed or not. And rightly so, yesterday the objection first thing first was overruled, meaning that they were of the view that the panel constituted by the Chief Justice was proper, and therefore it was fit for them to hear. The Chief Justice did not fault any law. She acted rightly to, as it were, empanel that particular judges to sit on the matter. One of the key things that they said in relation to the objection was that if you look at any reasonable observer from afar who is observing proceeding, who is observing the panel, will not in any way know that the panel will prejudice the matter or the panel has taken a stand in a particular direction. Or they are saying that if you look at, there's no proper evidence as so-called brought before the court to show that the individual judges have been influenced one way or the other. So that particular objection was overruled. Now, after the objection was overruled, it paved way for them to look at Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa's request to have the appeal struck out or grounds of the appeal struck out. And in fact, if that is struck out, it means that there's no appeal existing. Now, the court looked at it and was of the considered view that yes, they agree with Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa and his lawyers that Reverend Kusi Boateng, Reverend Victor Kusi Boateng, did not, as it were, comply with the rules of appeal, and therefore the ground stated in his appeal notice of appeal is struck out. However, after filing the notice of appeal and the grounds that was attached to it, he has filed an application seeking leave to file additional grounds. Those additional grounds have not been touched, but the initial one that he filed, that Okudzeto Ablakwa and his lawyers are challenging, that one the court agreement was struck out. So yesterday it was as though the appeal has been struck out, but because that leg of the request is pending, the court has given them directions to file within 7 days, which means that the initial one that they filed, the court said they are not fit for the court to deal with. However, we are going to look at the additional ground that you have filed, if those ones meet the requirement, and that one, the court is saying that the date will be fixed. But in effect, the initial one that Reverend Kusi Boateng and his lawyers filed yesterday, the court struck them out because they were of the considered view that it was unfit for purpose. The panel, Justice Cynthia Pamela Cranting, currently the Judicial Secretary, Justice Ifya Sewa Sarebutwe, many who have heard the name so many times here, dealing with the ambulance case, and Justice Kweku Tewia Akabuafo, they dealt with the issue yesterday. But what is the reaction of Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa in relation to yesterday's decision, one on the objection that was overruled, and subsequent decision that the court agreed with him in relation to the application asking for the appeal or the grounds of appeal to be struck out. So let's go and listen to Samuel Okuyeto Ablakwa.
We are glad that the appeal on the contempt case has been dismissed by the appeals court. It appears that this is the only country where somebody who has engaged in a double identity scam will be wasting the time of members of parliament who are carrying out their constitutional mandate of oversight. That's all we are doing. That's all we are doing. And is this a fair price to pay for carrying out your constitutional mandate? And have you noticed that he never comes to court? We have work to do. We have parliament to go to. We have parliamentary committees. We have our constituents to take care of. We have other constitutional obligations as members of parliament. And he keeps filing appeals upon appeals upon appeals when the matters are very clear. You have lost in the lower courts. Judges have been very, very decisive in their decisions. We were only carrying out our mandate to scrutinize expenditures of the National Cathedral project, and we discovered payments made in another name, only to find out that it is the same person, Reverend Victor Kusibuati, Kwabna Edu Jemfi. And we have adduced evidence to that effect. We have not been mischievous, we have not been malicious, we are only carrying out our constitutional mandate. Unless people think that we are elected to go to parliament and be a rubber stamp, whatever state institutions bring to us, we don't scrutinize, we don't do due diligence, and we allow payments to go through. So that is what we are elected to do. That is what the Constitution says we should do. We do our job, and we are subjected to all of this harassment.
So that's the Member of Parliament for North Tongue, Samuel Okuyeto
Ablakwa. Okay. So yesterday, that's his initial reaction to the decision of the Court of Appeal, and what he thinks of Reverend Victor Kusibuati, otherwise also known as Kwabna Edu Jemfi, as in relation to this whole matter. He said Parliament, as a parliamentarian, he needs to stop his work, come to court, and even he will not even show up in court and all that. And I must put on record that in all the cases, from the contempt case to the cases that have happened in the Court of Appeal and all that, Reverend Victor Kusibuati has not been caught in any of them
at all.
It's only his lawyers who have represented him in other instances.
I see.
But it's the law also allows that. So
the law allows for his absence.
It is not wrong, but the court would love to see the parties in court, especially the applicants, the person who comes to court.
Okay.
Yeah. It's one thing that the Chief Judge has always been having in relation to persons who file constitutional matters. You file the case, you don't come to court. They think that it's a marks of disrespect to the court. If you file an application, come, show your face, let them know you. But you sit far away and send your lawyers or reps to come for them. They are not happy with it. But the law is the law. Until it changes, we still have to work with what it is. Yes.
Interesting. All right. Now to the ex-PPA boss case. What's become of it?
So, Ajenin Boatin Eje, this is the case that been prosecuted by the Office of the Special Prosecutor in relation to how he allegedly used his office to influence some procurement transactions and all that. He's pleaded not guilty to some 8 counts, and he's about to start trial. Yesterday, before Justice Marie-Louise Simmons, the case management conference started, where the parties are sorting out documentation. You know, the prosecution or the Office of the Special Prosecutor has filed disclosure. Disclosure means that all documents, including those that you don't even intend to rely on, which is related to the matter at hand, should be furnished the accused person and the court. So they are going through to find out what the prosecution filed is the same thing that the defense lawyers have, is the same thing that the court have, for the accused to be able to mount proper defense. And yesterday they started doing that. They didn't complete it. It was very much bulky document. So the case has been adjourned to July 24 for continuation before Justice Marie-Louise Simmons. So that case yesterday came on. Case management conference has started, and it's been adjourned for continuation.
All right. The Ofankor tenant murder, what also became of it?
Nana can come. Yes, the landlord, or who is said to have shot his tenant and killed him at Ofankor. He's still standing trial. The prosecution was expected to have the fourth prosecution witness subjected to cross-examination by lawyers of Nana Kankam, but unfortunately, this is a jury trial, and so we know the issue of the jurors as we speak. They are on strike. They are not back yet over some unpaid allowances. As of the time that they were declaring the strike, they mentioned that it was 10 months. That was in May 16. Today's date is 27th
Of June.
June, so more than a month. They still not been sorted out, so they are out. So this yesterday when the case was called, it didn't come on. It had to be adjourned because the jurors were absent.
All right. The Hobson Adoye case as well, what's become of it?
Yes, so yesterday he made his second appearance at the Dansoman District Court, and yesterday the court was informed by the police prosecutors that the case docket has been taken over by the Office of the Attorney General for advice. So that is the update that they have for court. So that very court sitting was very short. So that matter has since been adjourned to the 31st of July. And 31st of July is the very last day that I must say the Superior Court, when I say the Superior Court, the High Court, the Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court would be embarking on legal vacation. And in that situation, for the High Court, we'll have some of the courts back sitting as vacation courts. But in relation to the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court, they have to go entirely. But the lower courts, some of them will be sitting. They are the only court that do not go on vacation. But of course, some judges have some leave issues. Some judges will have to be away for a while. But of course, that is what is to happen. So in relation to the Hobson Adoye's case, it has been adjourned to July 31 for the court to be informed about what has become of that particular update, or an update from the Office of the Attorney General in relation to the case docket. So that is what happened in relation to Hobson Adoye, who is facing the charge of publication of false news. And he made his first appearance sometime in May 23. He was granted bail, met the bail conditions. So yesterday he was present in court by himself.
All right. The Beige Bank case.
Michael Nyeneku.
The case of 61, isn't it?
Yes. Michael Nyeneku is still calling witnesses. So the 15 defense witness was present in court. In fact, he started his testimony as far back as in Monday. Wednesday, he continued. And yes, yesterday was Wednesday. So he continued yesterday. He wasn't done. He is expected to be back again on Monday. But yesterday, the lawyers of Michael Nyeneku indicated that some of their witnesses will have to be compelled to come by way of a subpoena. So they do not want to come, so the court should, as it were, ask them to come. And in this case, you have no option. Once the court is asking you to come, you have to come. And so yesterday, another request that they put before the court was to the effect that some of their witnesses are out of the jurisdiction and they will have to testify via a video link. And so Justice Efiasewa Saribotwe yesterday granted that particular request for a video link subject to the acceptance or approval by the Chief Justice, Justice Gertrude Tokonu, to allow that to happen. So, and that is granted. If the warrant of a link is granted, then some of the witnesses will have to testify via video link wherever they may be. If they are out of the jurisdiction and not close to the court, they will be allowed to testify via video link. So yesterday, these are some of the things that transpired before Justice Efiasewa Saribotwe, and the case has since been adjourned to July 1, that is Monday, for continuation of the 15 defense witness. Per the other witness statement that they have filed, we are getting close to about 1920 thereabouts. So that is what the latest update in relation to Michael Nyeneku's case, where he has indicated that he will call 61 witnesses. So far, The witnesses that is on record that it's getting close to calling is about 20.
All right. Now let's look to what's happening today. The ambulance trial. You mentioned that the cross-examination continues today. What are we to expect?
Yes. So, day 3 of prosecution's cross-examination will come on today, where Mr. Richard Japa will face further cross-examination scrutiny from state prosecutors to test the veracity of the allegations that is made, to test the veracity of the testimony that he is giving to the court, all the allegations that he's made against the Attorney General, Godfred Yeboah-Dame, and all the things that he has said about the ambulance case transaction. He will face cross-examination, further cross-examination. And we know that we expect the team of the Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, because that for the past 2 sittings, is a full house. And the case didn't come on Tuesday because the prosecution indicated that they have some assignment out of the jurisdiction. So the court didn't fix it for Tuesday. So today, they will be in court. And we expect further cross-examination to happen. The indication is that after today, prosecution will have one more session, which will be on next Tuesday, to be done with Mr. Richard Japa. It has extended because of the manner in which Mr. Japa has been responding to questions. Initially, prosecution requested for 4 hours to subject him to cross-examination, and those 4 hours would have been exhausted at the last court sitting. But because of the nature of responses to the question, prosecution wanted more time. They increased it to 5 hours. That did not work. And then now the court has given indication, or the prosecution has given indication that
For blank check.
with 2 more sessions, they should be done with Mr. Richard Japa.
And each session is what, 3 hours or 2 hours?
So the case starts from 12 to 3.
To 3 hours.
3.
So another 6 hours to go.
Yes. So
And they have already done 4 hours.
absolutely.
So 10 hours of cross-examination.
It's not an easy sitting. It's been a marathon sitting ever since they started. Mr. Japa started the cross-examination. In fact, this case, anytime it comes up in court, it takes a very long day, except when something happens and you have to adjourn it. But each and every day, 12 to 3 has always been the time that has been allotted for this very case. So that is what we do expect. So more fireworks today. We'll see a lot of quotes, a lot of things from Mr. Japa and from the prosecution by way of both parties trying to make their case and try to test the veracity of Mr. Japa's testimony. So that's what we do expect today.
Today on that case. All right. There's this case of the level 100 student murder case. Remind us what case that is and
Safina
what to expect today.
Adizatu Mohammed. So this is a young lady who's been accused of murdering or killing her boyfriend, a Ghanaian Canadian resident, who came down to visit on a vacation, spent some time with Safina allegedly, and the following morning he was found dead. So she has been charged with murder, and then she has pleaded not guilty. It's also a jury trial, and the Chief Justice has issued a directive that all indictable cases such as murder, treason, felony, and all those that require the services of the juror that have not started yet should start in the next legal year. So for the second time, the court was hoping to meet so that they would take dates in the next legal year, and the court said, let's block date by way of case management completion plan, so that they'll be able to deal with the issue. And it's that point that we are now, that the jurors are on strike. So it is most possible that today, when that case is called, the last court sitting when the case came up, it was adjourned because the jurors were absent. Today, if they are not back, certainly it will be adjourned because the jurors who are regarded as justice of facts, they are the most important people in trial of this nature. So once they are absent, there's nothing that you can do. And remember that out of the 7, if one person do not even show up in court, it means that the trial will not go on. So that is what we do expect in relation to this very case, Safina Adizatu's case. So the court, Justice Lydia Osemafo, is expected to sit, but if the jurors are still absent, automatically the case will be adjourned.
All right then. So the The Galamsey case involving the NPP chairman and the ex
Aisha
lover.
Your friend. You've forgotten about your friend.
Who's that?
Shumi.
Shumi.
Yes.
No.
You're a bad friend. You don't check on your friend.
She you mean?
Yes,
She you mean?
Yes.
Aha. You see what? You mentioned Shimi. I'm like, I know it's she you mean.
Yes.
Aha. She you mean. Yes. How is she
Yes,
though?
he's doing good.
Okay.
He's doing good. So he's expected back in court today to come and face. The court is expected to give further direction in relation to how the case to go. The NPP chairman has started plea bargaining processes with the Attorney General. So the court will be giving an update in relation to what has become of that negotiations. And as for me, we haven't heard anything from him yet. So today there'll be more updates in relation to this very case.
As well.
Yeah.
Fantastic. The Cocoa Board case. Where are we?
Yes. So the whole of this week, no show up until this time. So the said defense witness for Saidu Agongo and then Agricole Ghana Limited. Saidu Agongo is the businessman and the second accused person, and Agricole Ghana Limited is a company and the third accused person. So they are calling their said witness. On Monday, the witness was not available. On Tuesday, the witness was not available. Yesterday, there was no sitting in relation to the matter. So today, Justice Abaji Tando Scott is expected to sit, hoping that the witness who was indisposed of last two sittings will be available. So we do expect that to happen for the person to come and testify, and then subsequently will be subjected to cross-examination. So these are some of the things that we do expect in relation to the cases that are coming, and the Cocoa Board case involving Dr. Stephen Kwabena Opuni, Saidu Agongo, and then Agricole Ghana Limited, who are denied the charge of willfully causing financial loss to the state and the purchase of some little bit liquid fertilizers for cocoa farmers.
Okay. What about? I know it wasn't on the list of issues to look at, but where are we on that case?
Which one?
The Honda Civic. Is it still at the courthouse?
Yeah, it's still in court. So at the last court sitting, what happened was that you noticed that lawyers of Deborah Sarah Adabla, the former national service person, and her lawyers were, as it were, subjecting the police officers or the criminal, the investigator, the crime officer, Matsi, to cross-examination, try to find out how they went about to serve her with processes and all that. So they were done. So lawyers of Ernest Nimakun are expected to subject him to cross-examination. This case is in July.
All right. Thank you, Mutalani, sir, for the updates.